I ducked my head down because I didn't want to get shot in the back of my head while I was running. I felt it bust through the front of my leg. I'm just thinking in my head, I'm going to get him back. I didn't know who he was. I didn't care who he was. If something like that happens, you got to answer back. If you make it out alive, you got to answer back. If you can't get over the fact that I'm a blood, then that says a lot about your character. I don't have no regrets, and I don't take back my past. My viewpoint was just F the police. Anybody who put on that uniform, you're a traitor. The trauma training helped me understand the law enforcement officers are just as traumatized as the community because they're human beings just like we human beings. Community fear the officers fear the community. It's to the point where it's been out of control, and if we never had conversations, we never gonna push forward.
Every assignment that we go to, we see some sort of trauma.
I'm not saying that you are a prostitute. All I'm saying is that they would like to have this sidewalk clear. Absolutely.
Being able to understand each other and being able to respect each other is key.
Y'all don't come in here. Y'all just runs in here, and y'all just start locking people up.
Trauma, it could be physical, could be mental, could be emotional. It's an everyday issue. It affects us. It affects the police department. It affects the community. It affects everyone. Any training that any police officer receives will be a positive impact on the way that they will carry themselves out throughout the community.
We bring a small group of police officers and community residents together and use the frame of trauma to talk about issues like community violence, police brutality, racism, structural racism.
That's what this is about. It's actually getting out of your comfort zone. Why waste this opportunity with all this diversity, all the age, right? All the experience in the room, if you're gonna stay in your comfort zone?
Our hope is for officers to understand that their badge is traumatizing and to understand the kinds of ways they need to behave in communities of color that are experiencing the kinds of issues that are in Newark.
At the beginning, I was kind of like upset. They were attacking law enforcement, and I couldn't quite understand that.
Wearing this uniform is not a sign of oppression. I don't want you to look at me as a sign of oppression. I want you to look at me as a friend. As help.
It's going to take a much larger transformative effort, a real movement to stem the tides of violence and cycles of harm. Identifying trauma and identifying the complex ways in which it impacts people is a really important first step. It's not the only step, but it's an important first step.